Hi, kindergarten friends. It's Miss Truesdale here, and I'm going to talk to you today about how to teach kindergarten writer's workshop. Before we get started, I want to give you some background about why we teach writing like this. I know it always helps me to learn something if I know why. Well, if you're a 70s or 80s baby like myself, you probably remember starting to write essays when you were in second or third grade, after you learned all the spelling conventions. Back then, it was thought that it was better to wait until you knew how to spell correctly, and then children were held accountable with that mighty red pen for all their spelling mistakes. But Teachers College found that this discouraged children from being creative because they were so afraid of that editing. So nowadays, we know that kids have lots of phenomenal stories that they can tell as soon as they can talk. So we use their creativity to get them writing and actually practicing those spelling conventions as we're teaching them. Still, by grade 2, they should know all the spelling conventions. Um, and so that's kind of why it looks different. So let's just dive right in. The first step is brainstorming, and I want to show you a little video about how to brainstorm with your child.
Writing a Personal Narrative, Episode 1, Brainstorming. Do you know what a personal narrative is? A personal narrative is a true story about your life. You can write about something that has happened to you. When we brainstorm, we think about all of the different things that we could write about. Brainstorming helps us find the best possible topic for our writing. When you brainstorm personal narrative topics, you can think about good memories you have about things that have happened to you, fun things that you've done with your family or friends, trips you have taken or special places you have visited, activities you have done at school, or anything else that has happened to you in your life. It's important to choose a topic that you care about and remember lots of details about. This will help you write a great personal narrative. So here is my brainstorming sheet. I'm going to think of some things that I've done that I'd like to write about. I will draw a sketch and a few words to remember my ideas. Then I'm going to choose one idea that's my favorite. So first, I'm thinking I could write about when I played kickball at recess yesterday. That was super fun. Or I could write about my birthday party last summer. I could tell about all the gifts I got and the games we played. I could also write about when my mom took me to the store this weekend and I got a new toy. Or I could write about when I visited my grandparents for Christmas. I could write about when I got my dog and I was so excited. Or I could write about when I watched fireworks in the park on 4th of July. Wow, so now I have 6 ideas to choose from. Let's see. I don't think I'll write about visiting my grandparents because it was sort of a long time ago and I don't really remember enough details. Today, I think I will write about when I got a new dog. I can save the rest of my ideas for later. So that's it.
So that's basically how the process goes for brainstorming. Before we get into writing, I want to talk about pencil grip really fast. I'm happy to report no one in our class is using their fist to grip their pencil anymore, so good job with that. I do have quite a few using the F method in the diagram, and we want to get away from that because it's not providing much control for the pencil. G is better, which is a two-finger grip, and your third finger the pencil is resting on. And H is the best, When you have a tripod grip with 3 fingers gripping, you have the best control. Now that we talked about all that stuff, let's get to the nitty gritty. That rectangle paper with the lines, everybody keeps asking, what do I do with? Okay, so the first step of doing primary writing is drawing your details. You're going to lean on your drawings for all the details that you may not be able to write in words. So you're going to talk out with your child what they want to write about. My story is going to be about a time at recess, and I want to take this time to address my rudimentary drawings. Um, I draw everything in the classroom, and I am still learning how to draw, and I use that as an opportunity to talk to the students about just doing their best work. If you're very critical around your child, that translates to them, and it's a very hard work environment if your child is very critical of themselves because they won't try as much. But if you let that pressure off and just let them know that their best work is all that you need, then they'll try more, hence practicing more, hence getting better. So I always tell my students, don't laugh at me, this is my best work. So this is the playground. This is our basketball court. And this is the gate. This is the grass. This is our castle. And the 2 slides that you could go down. And this is the merry-go-round. And if I were in the classroom and I saw this, I would ask the students, what's missing? And they should say, me. So we need to have our characters or our key players. So we're going to draw the details next. And so the details are all the people and what happened. So here's what happened. I was playing with the ball, and then the boys came and they took the ball away. And then I went to go tell the teacher. And so your child might say a lot of words that they may not be able to write. What we're going to do is we're going to lean on the word wall, which I gave to you in your packet. It's also just the sight words that we've introduced this year. And so all those words they should be able to spell correctly by copying them down. This is giving them practice with the sight words, practice writing them, and practice recognizing them. And anything that's not on the sight word wall, we can sound out or use phonetic patterns. The second step after they've drawn all the pictures is to label the picture by just drawing a line and then just writing what it is, like basketball court, and making speech bubbles for what the people are saying. We just talked about the use of word walls. I've packed one in your packet, and if you didn't get to school to get a packet, you could just look up kindergarten sight words. You could look up kindergarten personal word walls, or you can look in their sight word folder that you should have at home because I did not collect them the last week at school. And then for anything that's not on the word wall and that is a regular spelling pattern, which is what we concentrate on in kindergarten, we have what are called the phonics hunks and chunks. Your child should know what these are. We do a YouTube video of the curriculum that we bought, Hunks and Chunks, which is just basically rhymes to remember all the different regular um, patterns in spelling. And your child should recognize these pictures that I'm displaying. And I know that you don't know the Hunks and Chunks poems, so I'm going to tell you how to address that at home. And then when all else fails, we can lean on that good old stretching out or sounding out, what we used to do when we were in school. Even though went is a sight word, maybe they don't remember how to spell it. You can say, what sounds do you hear? And then if they don't say all the sounds, you can model saying the sounds. Wha. Have them write what they hear. Eh. Write what you hear. They might say I because I and E are very close, especially with our southern accents. So really emphasize eh, n, t. helping them hear all the sounds and writing them down. They may not get all of the sounds, and that's where they are developmentally. So don't be too hard on them. Just keep repeating the sounds until they get it. And then I went to the to and the are sight words, so they should copy those. Teacher. E. I would ask them, do you know a hunk and chunk for EA? And they should say, scaredy cat E, scaredy cat A, put them together, and what do they say? E. Or they might not. And then you could just tell them, well, you know, what you know. Two vowels go walking, the first one does the talking, or you say E, or whatever, however you know it. You could tell them for this week, it's fine. But they should know their hunks and chunks. CH, do you know something for CH? They should tell you ch. And ER, do you know something for ER? ER at the end of a word. So that's how you're going to help them spell the words in the sentences. Finger spacing. If you leave your child to their own devices, they're probably going to write all the words together so that you cannot tell where one word starts and where one word ends. And so, in order to remedy that, we ask them to do something we call finger spacing. A kindergartner's finger at the end of their word is just enough space to create spacing. So, if you could use the terminology, they might be a little more responsive to finger spacing. Now we're ready to write. So every day I want you to add another sentence. This isn't going to happen in one day. That's why you only have 2 or 3 sheets of paper, because one paper could last you the whole week because you're doing it step by step a little bit. We only work on writing about 15 to 20 minutes each day. So the first day you might do drawings, second day you might beef up those drawings, third day you might do labels and drawings. Just depends on how quickly or how focused your child is. And then the third day you might start writing a sentence together. So my first sentence is, we go outside. And then the second day I extended more. We go outside to what? I asked them. Well, to play, duh. Oh, okay. Well, we need to tell the reader that. So we can erase that period and add more words to our sentence to extend it. Some of our friends are here, some of them are not, but that's just so that you can know that exists. So every day add another sentence until you have a paragraph. So now on Friday, or maybe Monday of the next week, depending on the rate your child is working, I have a whole sentence. We go outside to play. I was playing ball. The boys took the ball. I got my teacher. I've underlined all the hunks and chunks in here. And the last step is to add color. I always tell the students to add color sparingly. We don't want to take away from the illustrations. Just adding a little pop of color to, say, the sun or maybe someone's shirt can make your illustrations look great, but we don't want to color over them. And so that's basically it. If you have any problems, you can always reach me on Dojo, and have fun writing.